I mean, we encourage men to change the narrative that it is that they've been telling themselves. Oftentimes people will show up and they're telling themselves that they're a junkie. And instead of not using that narrative, it's really about making sure that they acknowledge, hey, I've had a substance abuse issue, but that doesn't define me as a human being, So I don't spend as much time with them as their primary counselors per se, but there is very much so a relatability that I get to have, being that I've been in treatment. I've got some of my own experience in the sobriety community, where even if it's a man who doesn't believe that that he's capable of living a life attached or detached from those stigmatizations, hey man, like, I've been there. I know what that's like. I had failed treatment experiences, and our hope is that those the men who stand in the fire here and they get their work done, they realize, like, hey, I have the exact same past that I had when I first got here, but 90 days goes by and I have an entirely different relationship with that, and I can see that I can benefit others as well as myself, so long as I switch some of those narratives. We're blessed to have a lot of alumni locally and people who come from other states and have established and maintained their life here, who are not only men who've stepped in those exact shoes before and can help contain and encourage a man who's experiencing those things through that experience, but we also are a therapeutic community where on the back end of it, on a morning check-in on Mondays, if we wanted to, for example, we'll do a weekend process group and really navigate, hey, I was fearful about going to a Giants baseball game in the city, but I went with my recovery brothers and then navigated what those experiences were like and had a container around me, a support group, a network, a peer support group, where people were able to contain that fear with me. And I was able to realize, pushing through that discomfort allowed for growth. And there's this real utility in that. Because as I've mentioned before, you have to have a strong alternative to substances if you're going to navigate a life substance free. And I strongly believe that it's important to have an imperative to have a community and a connection to that community. And we're absolutely blessed that we've had men who've come through and done this and want to navigate making sure that there's people who have that exact same support, whether that be through service or actually spending time with them, et cetera, to navigate some of those fears and live well through discomfort. The structure behaviorally is in place so that if there were to be, some danger in a situation, you mentioned going downtown, that they have an airtight plan in place to make sure that if it is overwhelming, that we can take 2 steps back, navigate it in a therapeutic community about what really is appropriate moving forward, and then make sure that as time progresses and progress is made, that that's actually something that can be done in a way that is not maybe as threatening. It's all about taking time. That's one of the things about us that I find to be really beneficial, is that men can come here and they can be here for 6, 7, 8 months. It's not something that is, hey, you have 30 days and you must leave. It's really imperative that people have the opportunity and the time to really navigate what it is that works for them. I find residential to be highly valuable. I certainly find that getting a reprieve from whatever it was that got people into residential is highly important. And quite often, men who are showing up there, and they're showing up at residential. They've gotten a taste of what recovery feels like. But this is using that same taste analogy. This is really where they learn how to cook and maintain that diet that's going to keep them leading towards something that's going to hopefully maintain recovery for a long time.